Does JJ McCarthy have a legitimate shot to be the Vikings quarterback one to start the season? The answer is no. And I'm going to tell you why in just a couple seconds. Welcome in, everyone. The first ever episode of Strictly Vikings. My name is Leighton Glodek. I'm going to be hosting this podcast for the rest of time. This has been something I've been wanting to do forever. I've been working on it the last 4 or 5 months, thinking of ideas that are fresh, that people are going to love, that not every podcast does. And I'm pretty sure I hit the nail. I hit the How do you say? Wait, what is it? Hit the nail on the head. I hit the nail on the head with this one. Um, Great segments. We're going to have great guests. We're going to have guests that Vikings fans love, that Vikings fans know. Players are going to be coming on in the future. The voices of Minnesota Vikings are going to be coming on in the future. It's going to be awesome. I love the Vikings. I've been a Vikings fan my entire life, and honestly, I love talking. So why not make a podcast about the Vikings and me talking? It just makes too much sense. Um, anyway, let's get into it. We're going to start with some training camp notes. I've been at the last however many training camps. I think I've only missed one this season. No, I've missed two. I've missed two training camps so far, but the overall takeaway from training camp is that JJ McCarthy's been crushing it. And honestly, if he wasn't crushing it, I was still going to say he's crushing it anyway, because why would I want to crap on our 10th overall quarterback? Just doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, he could throw an interception on every single play. It doesn't matter. I'm still going to say he's having one hell of a camp. But yeah, no, he's been crushing it. Um, let me show you a little video here. So if you're watching on the YouTube, obviously I just pulled up the video of JJ McCarthy making a throw. Um, People have really started to hate on McCarthy for apparently looking to one side of the field only and staring down his targets. I honestly don't have any issues with that, and I haven't really seen that much of it. I mean, it just comes from the haters because people find a way to hate no matter what. But honestly, on this play here, he's basically just reading the corner, and whatever the corner does, he's just making a play. So, what I've seen from McCarthy has been impressive. Is he going to start the season? No, because of one simple fact. The Minnesota Vikings can't go from JJ McCarthy to Sam Darnold. You have to go from Sam Darnold to JJ McCarthy. If JJ McCarthy starts the season, shits the bed, and you bring in Sam Darnold, think about how that looks. We're benching our 10th overall quarterback for a career-long backup. I don't know if you classify him as a career-long backup, but not a great quarterback in his history in the NFL. So if you bench McCarthy for him, Vikings are going to get clowned, and I don't feel like getting clowned. Um, so obviously you have to start Darnold, and you signed him for 1 year, $10 million. You don't sign a guy to sit behind McCarthy and sign him for $10 million. So that's not going to happen. But Sam Darnold has looked impressive as well. He's had his ups and downs as everyone was expecting. I think this is a complicated offense to learn. But McCarthy has really, really stood out. He's been making throws with the number 2 offense against the number 1 defense, and it's been really exciting to watch. But I think the most underrated thing, or the most not talked about thing in training camp this season, the fumble stick is back. So if you're watching on the YouTube, I'm pulling up a video right now. The fumble stick is back. And I don't know if you guys remember this from last year. No, if you're a Vikings fan, you remember it. You remember the viral image of Kevin O'Connell with the fumble stick absolutely harassing these players, I think after week 4 or 5. Whenever the Vikings fumbled like 80 times in 4 games, he brought it out, and people were just memeing him all the time. But the very first training camp I went to, it was in July, Kevin O'Connell had this out. So he's breaking it out 3 months before last year, and that was the best move he could have made because we cannot go into this season having fumble issues like we did last year. I mean, it cost us 4 out of the first 5 games, whatever it was, but it was bad. But the fumble stick is back and nobody's talking about it. I think it's one of the most underrated stories of training camp so far. I mean, Kevin O'Connell puts in the work during practice. Let's just say that. He's throwing balls all the time, no diddy. Um, but even when Justin Jefferson is running routes, I feel like Kevin O'Connell's always the one throwing the ball to him. I think Kevin O'Connell's just trying to reminisce on his quarterback days in the NFL, probably trying to think what life would be like if he had Justin Jefferson as a wide receiver when he played in the NFL. It's got to be the best feeling just knowing like, yo, I'm just going to throw this up. Jefferson's going to bail me out. I'm not going to have to worry about anything and I'll just move on. Um So yeah, I think KOC is living right now. Let's just say that. The Vikings did announce on Tuesday that they will not be signing any extensions for Kwesi or KOC um, before the conclusion of this season, which I don't think I find surprising. Um, Giving Kwesi and Kevin another year to prove that they really deserve those extensions is smart. I think KOC will receive an extension no matter how this upcoming season goes because I mean he's been a great head coach. 13 wins his first year, dealt with quarterback problems last year. He's been more than exceptional. Kwesi, on the other hand, it's going to come down to this season. It's going to come down to how this past draft goes. If JJ McCarthy lights it up, that's great for Kwesi. Even if Dallas Turner lights it up, that's great for Kwesi. But you know, last couple of drafts, hit and miss. So we'll see how long that leash is. I don't know. The the Wolves kept Rick Spielman around for a while. So we'll see if Kwesi gets the same treatment or not. Um, Another note from training camp, the Vikings defense looks impressive. They they looked they look fast. Their perimeter defensive line guys or outside linebackers is what I'm trying to say, are very fun to watch. John Grenard, Van Ginkel, Dallas Turner, they're all very exciting to watch, very fast, can all make plays um, going to the quarterback. But even if they don't get to the quarterback, I've seen John Grenard bat down at least 3 passes in training camps when the one offense is going with the against the one defense. So that's exciting, and I like to see that, especially after losing Daniil Hunter and DJ Wonnum in free agency. It's awesome to see. The only thing I'm worried about, obviously, cornerbacks. The Vikings have had some very, very, very bad beats with that position before the season even started. With the travesty in Kyrie Jackson and you know Mekhi Blackman tearing his ACL. So it's been rough. Um, I think that's going to be a position to watch this season where that goes if the Vikings make any moves. But it's definitely no matter how this year plays out, next year is going to be a top priority for this football team if they want to take it to the next level. Trying to think of what else at training camp. Honestly, that might be it. Like I said, I'm going today and tomorrow, so I'll have notes next week from more of training camp, but I feel like everyone's been kind of um, keeping up to date with the Vikings because I think it is a very intriguing training camp with 2 first round rookies there, especially one being a quarterback. But like I said, Sam Darnold is going to start the season. JJ McCarthy is not. because you cannot go from JJ McCarthy to Sam Darnold. You have to go from Sam Darnold to JJ McCarthy. It's just as simple as that. It is as simple as that. But moving on, I wanted to get into our first segment that I've come up with. It is the Vikings Facebook stroll of the week. So, to get a little background information for you guys, if you haven't been on Vikings Facebook, you need to. It is home of the most Homer Vikings fans I have ever seen. And I don't know if I mean Homer in a good way. It is like Homer to the extreme. Like these guys are I don't honestly, I can't even put it into words. So I'm just going to go to the post that I saved for this week. We'll have, 2 to 3 posts every week. Um and we're just going to talk about them. So, first one here. I do I say names? I don't know if I want to say names, but you know, I won't say names, but just know that if you want names, everything is out on the internet. So go to Facebook, join some Vikings groups, and you will find some outlandish stuff. Um, First one. So I apologize here. Trying to get it pulled up. How do I go to the post here? Another Gen Z. See, people have been calling me Unk lately. I don't like that. I'm only 23 years old. I feel like Unk status is 25. But I do feel like a boomer when I can't work Facebook because face like I actually cannot work this. I saved posts and now I just cannot find them. Or I find them, but I can only see like the article. I want what people said. Like, okay, anyway, here it is. First one. According to New England Patriots sports writers, Joe Milton has beaten Drake May in every practice so far. Some analysts are predicting that Milton will be the Patriots' starting quarterback this season. Obviously, May was selected number 3 overall in the NFL draft, while Milton was selected number 193. So 190 picks apart, and we're saying Milton is going to start. First of all, complete overreaction from everybody in New England. I mean, Tom Brady goes, and these fans just do not know how to act. They see, they have 1 to 2 losing seasons in a row, and my God, they lose their shit. Um, but anyway, it was a Vikings fan that quote tweeted the post and said, the Vikings never should have drafted JJ McCarthy 10th overall. They should have just held on to their picks, waited until, pick 193 apparently, and drafted Joe Milton to be their starting quarterback. Tell me you've never watched a lick of film without telling me you've never watched a lick of film. I mean, Joe Milton is a 6'4", 200 plus pound quarterback that is an absolute athletic freak. Yeah. Why? So if you put a quarterback in that frame, why would he not go number 1 overall? I mean, there's got to be something, right? Obviously, because he went pick 193. Why would he not go number 1 overall? If he had that build, can throw the ball that far, I think he can throw an orange like 100 yards. Fun little stat there. I mean, if football was played with an orange, Joe Milton would be dangerous. I'm gonna try and go to this group though and see if I can find this original post because I mean, it's just outlandish. I mean, how can you say drafting Joe Milton over JJ McCarthy would have been a better move for this Vikings team? I mean, that is just insane. Trying to find it. Here we go. Here we go. Well, I mean, this is the Facebook scroll of the week, so let's just see if I can find anything else too. Um, this post is for the low energy fans. What does that mean? Why not start JJ week 1? What the hell do we got to lose? It's Sam Darnold or him. He isn't learning anything behind Darnold. That is just completely false. I don't know how you can say he's not learning anything behind Darnold when he hasn't even played an NFL game. Darnold has started probably close to 20 games in his career, and we're gonna say JJ's not even gonna learn one thing from him, and it's not about learning from Darnold. I mean, he's learning from everybody on that team. It's just plain and simple. I see a couple of my videos in here that I'm not getting credit for. Um, I'm trying to find this original post, but I really cannot for the oddest. Oh, here we go. Vikings should have waited and drafted Milton, like I said before the draft and during. McCarthy isn't better than anyone drafted in the later rounds. He won't be a Vikings in 4 years. See, that's why I put it in there because this dude is speaking out of his ass. McCarthy isn't better than anyone drafted in the later rounds. So is that I mean, he says anyone. So anyone. McCarthy isn't going to be better than anyone in the 2024 NFL draft. So this guy is going out on a limb saying that McCarthy is going to be the worst pick in the 2024 NFL draft. That seems a little insane to me. Um, it could be true. Actually, it can't be true. It's probably impossible. Someone commented, "How long will you be a Viking?" It's a good comment because dude hasn't even played a game, and we're already shitting on JJ McCarthy. So, someone said, "Do any of you actually like the Vikings?" Like, God, this is a fan page, and all it is everyone acting like like they're pro scouts, and they should have done this or that. He put it perfectly right there. Everyone thinks they're pro scouts. I think myself included. I mean, everyone likes to have hot takes, and they like their hot takes to be right. And people will let other people know when their hot takes are right. But I mean, this is just a insane, insane post. Um, anyway, let's move on from Joe Milton. Shout out Joe Milton. I mean, he's a stud. I hope he's good. But the fact that he said that I'm not going to name names. Like I said, I'm not going to name names. But the fact that he's saying that Joe Milton is going to be him over JJ McCarthy is pretty outlandish. We got another one here. Case Keenum and Stephon Diggs duo were better than Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson. I cannot say that is true. I don't have any stats to back that up, but I can promise you Kirk Cousins and JJ McCarthy, or sorry, JJ. Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson um, were definitely better than Case Keenum and Stephon Diggs, considering that Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than Case Keenum and Justin Jefferson's a better wide receiver than Stephon Diggs. I mean, the conversation just ends right there. There's 240 comments on this post. Top comment. A, are you looking for attention? B, are you a special kind of special? Valid questions. I'm not going to read all those reply comments, but there's a lot. Um, good rebuttal here. So why was JJ paid more than Stephon Diggs? Very good question. 'Cause Justin Jefferson's a better wide receiver. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, to be honest, because it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, Kirk Cousins better than Case Keenum, Justin Jefferson better than Stephon Diggs. And the last one here, um, I got to get to this because this one, I'm not sure if you guys have heard, but you know, Kevin O'Connell kind of talked about Justin Jefferson maybe getting some more rest days during training camp, during the season, to just make sure that he's not rushing him back in anything. You know, that hamstring injury last year, hamstrings are nothing to play with. Let's just say that. I go to the gym and try and squat, and as soon as I feel that hamstring tighten up, nope, nope, I'm done. I'm done. And Justin and I, he's a little bit older than me, but still, it's like, man, I'm 23. I'd like to think I'm in the prime of my athletic days, but as soon as I feel that hamstring tighten up, nope, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not lifting no more. I'm done. So, bring me the news posted. Justin Jefferson can't shake the fear of re-injuring this hamstring. First of all, crazy, crazy title of an article. Justin Jefferson can't shake the fear of re-injuring his hamstring. And this is what I do with articles. I only read the title and I don't actually go into it because that's just, I mean, that's a lot of reading. Um, I'm pretty sure Justin Jefferson can shake the fear of re-injuring the hamstring, considering he actually played last season um, after he hurt his hamstring. So I don't think that fear is there. I think it's more precautionary. And a guy who's played football for most of his life, I don't think taking a couple days off is going to affect Justin Jefferson the way it would affect other people playing football. Because I'm sure you know whoever made this article, if they had a hamstring injury, it'd probably take them 9 years to recover, and I don't think they'd ever play football again because they don't want to go through it. So I can see where someone might be scared of a re-injuring the hamstring, but I don't think that's the case for Justin Jefferson. But anyway, that wasn't even the post. That was the news article. Um, but someone quote, I don't even know what you call it on Facebook. Shared it. I think shared it. They shared it and he titled it "Plain Scared." Good quality for a guy who broke the bank. Um, I see. I mean, this is like I said, Vikings Facebook, everyone. Vikings Facebook. It's where you come and you get the best Vikings takes around town. I mean, this is top of the line Vikings content right here. Not for me, for you. I mean, this is I'm I'm using it as content for the podcast, but I mean, this is just like this is great stuff for everybody. So, I mean, highly recommended. Go check out Vikings Facebook because it is some stuff you can't make up. But anyway, getting back to the post, plain scared for Justin Jefferson. See, I just don't think that is the case because if he was plain scared, first of all, if you're scared to play, why would you play? And he just broke the bank. I mean, Justin Jefferson could retire, never play a snap again in football, and he'd be fine because of all that guaranteed money. So I don't think Justin Jefferson's scared. I don't think he's worrying, or I don't think he's worrying about re-injuring the hamstring. I think he's just taking some precautionary measures to make sure he doesn't re-injure the hamstring. And if Justin Jefferson doesn't want to practice in the first week of August and the last week of July, I don't care. Like I said, the dude isn't going to get any worse at football if he takes a day off. And it's the whole conversation that we had last season with Kirk Cousins, him taking Tuesdays off. People destroyed him for taking Tuesdays off. He would get absolutely beat to shit on Sunday. Monday would come, have the day off or you'd get ready for the next game or whatever. But then people had such an issue with him taking Tuesdays off, which is insane to me. These guys aren't going to get any worse if they take a day off in the middle of the week. A day off is probably just as good as them practicing when they're in the midst of a NFL season. So anyway, I love when people talk about injuries from their couch. I'm accustomed to it. I was just doing it with the Olympics. Someone falls off that beam in gymnastics, and it's just like I'd never do that. I would never fall off that beam. Um, but yeah, Vikings Facebook, everyone, highly recommended. Go check it out. The posts only get better throughout the season too. The posts are unmatched, high quality from every point of Minnesota. And I feel like you can tell where people live based on their posts because you can just feel the how do I say it? The I don't know. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say anything that's gonna get me in trouble. So anyway, Vikings Facebook, check it out. Um, Great stuff. This is the part of the show where we would skip to a guest, but first episode, hard to get guests when the show isn't even a show because you don't even have a podcast out. So this is the first episode. So we're just gonna go straight to my, and if you're watching on YouTube, you know what I'm pulling up. We're going to go to my Super Mega Max Goat Whale guarantees of the week. So, this is what I think is going to happen in the coming week. I'm usually going to record shows on Tuesdays, post on Wednesday mornings. So, if you're listening to this on Wednesday morning, next show is going to be Wednesday morning, and we're going to revisit my Super Mega Max Goat Whale guarantees of the week. First one, CD Lamb will sign a terrible contract, also known as a contract more than Justin Jefferson. Would I be fine with this? Sure. Because you know what that means? We have Justin Jefferson on a great contract. As soon as Justin Jefferson isn't the highest paid wide receiver in the league, he's instantly a bargain because, well, he is the best wide receiver in the league. So if he's not paid as the best wide receiver in the league, bargain. Simple as that. But I do think CeeDee Lamb is going to sign a terrible contract this week. Because Dallas has got some guys to pay, and I think it's going to start with him, which it should. Next one, Hard Knocks tonight. Sorry, last night. A video of Caleb Williams throwing a touchdown pass from camp will go viral. This is bound to happen. Hence why I'm putting in the Super Mega Max Goat Whale guarantees of the week, because this is bound to happen. I haven't seen one all training camp. And I think that's a good thing for Vikings fans or for the Minnesota Vikings because this is supposed to be the guy. I mean, this is number one overall pick, greatest prospect since Trevor Lawrence, Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, whatever you want to call it. This is supposed to be the next Patrick Mahomes. And I haven't seen one clip of him throwing a touchdown pass all camp. Or maybe I've seen a clip, but it hasn't gone like viral. So I know Hard Knocks will have one. And I know everybody and the ML football who actually has me blocked on Twitter. So I guess I won't be seeing that. Dove Kleinman, all those bootleg NFL accounts are going to post every Hard Knocks clip available. And one of them is going to be Caleb Williams throwing a touchdown pass, and it's going to go viral. And the Bears fans are going to get into their delusional ways of thinking Super Bowl. I mean, they were thinking Super Bowl last year with Justin Fields at the helm. And they traded Justin Fields for a 4th round pick. I mean, it's just Bears fans. It's the Bears. They're never going to be good. Defense, good, sure, whatever. Wide receivers. Sorry, I'm going on a little Bears rant here, but here's the other thing about the wide receivers. I've been saying this too. DJ Moore's great. Just signed a massive contract, well deserved. DJ Moore is a great football player. Keenan Allen, another great football player, but does he have injury problems? Yes, all the time. Could he miss 10 games this season? Yes, he could. 100%. Could he be injured in 12 plus games that he plays in? He's not 100%. 100%. That could happen. So I think people are just leaning into Keenan Allen just a little too much. I mean, this is an aging wide receiver. If he proves me wrong, he proves me wrong. He destroyed the Minnesota Vikings last season, so I guess I can't really say anything. Rome Odunze hasn't even played a snap in the NFL. What if he's just bad? I doubt he's going to be bad because he was really good at Washington, but what if he is just bad? So then you have DJ Moore, good wide receiver. Keenan Allen, hurt. Rome Odunze, bad. I mean, would that be surprising to any of you? It's the Bears. We got to think here. It's the Bears. It's the Chicago Bears. When do things ever go right? The one season they went right in 2018, they lost on a freaking double doink. It's the Bears. So we just got to take a step back on the Bears. Their defense is good. It's just their offense. It's suspect. It's Caleb Williams. It's a rookie. He hasn't even played a snap in the NFL. Caleb Williams could suck for all I know. He actually might. What I was actually thinking the other day about how bad he would be if he did like the little. I feel like if he just keeps those antics from USC, I don't know. I don't know. Last one, obviously, you probably read it if you're watching on the YouTube, but Aaron Jones will match Alexander Madison's rushing touchdowns against the Raiders this Saturday, preseason game. Well, you're probably wondering, is Aaron Jones even going to play? No, he's probably not going to play at all. And I don't know why he would. I mean, he's a veteran that's played a lot of NFL games, and a preseason game isn't going to do much for him, but he's going to match Alexander Madison's rushing touchdowns from last season in one preseason game. You know why he's going to do that? Because Alexander Madison rushed for 0 touchdowns last year. I just love to revisit that stat because that is atrocious. I mean, you're telling me that you're the starting running back of an NFL football team and you can't run for 1 touchdown? Man, that is crazy. And it's and Alexander Madison plays for. I didn't even think about that. That's just a bonus on top. Is Alexander Madison going to play in the preseason game? I feel like he will. I don't think he's the starter. I think it'd be like Zamir White is the starter, I think. I Alexander Madison might play. If Alexander Madison rushes for a touchdown in US Bank Stadium this Saturday, that would be crazy. He literally, you can't even say doubled his touchdown mark from last season because he didn't have any. He increased it by 1,000,000%. That would be a treat. But anyway, Super Mega Max Goat Whale guarantees of the week. Um, these are obviously going to change when games arrive. Um, but these are my predictions. So next week we're going to look at these. They're all going to be right because they're Super Mega Max Goat Whale guarantees of the week, and they can't be wrong. Why would I put them on here if they're going to be wrong? It just doesn't make sense. So they're all going to be right. Nothing to worry about there. Not betting advice, but if you want to put the house on it, put the house on it. I'm not worried about it because there's Super Mega Max guarantees there's Super Mega Max Goat Whale guarantees of the week. I'm still getting that down. I tried to use the what do you call it? Not the slogan, but like the initials of the words. Yeah, it doesn't come out to anything. It's a lot of jibber jabber. Um, but anyway, looking forward, like I said, training camp. I'm going today. I'm going tomorrow. It's going to be hot. And I'm going next Monday, night practice. If you see me there, please do not hesitate to come up, talk Vikings, whatever. I'm always down to talk Vikings with anyone, anywhere, anytime. Come up. I'm always going to say hi, say what's up. Um, Vikings play football on Saturday. Insane to think that they do. Um, but like I said, I appreciate you guys listening, watching on the YouTube. This has been in the works for a very, very, very long time. And it still feels surreal that I'm sitting here recording this episode because I feel like we were never going to get the football season. And I feel like that's the feeling that happens to a lot of people over the summer is that we're never going to get here. But I told myself, whatever month it was that I started doing this, that I'm not going to start it until football season is here because I'm going to have nothing to talk about. Um, so it's here. I'm here. Strictly Vikings is here. And I'm pumped that you guys are going to be with me for the rest of the season, the rest of time, the rest of your life as Vikings fans, because there's nothing more in this world that's better than being a Vikings fan. And that is completely false. So Remember that. Um, Again, like I said, episodes every Wednesday. This is going up in the morning sometime. You're listening to it. The next episode will be next Wednesday in the morning sometime. That's how it's going to be. You can listen to this podcast on any single streaming, whatever you listen to your podcast on, Spotify, Apple Music, um, YouTube. YouTube is YouTube podcast like a thing? You can watch on the YouTube, you can listen on the YouTube. All of them. They're all going to be Amazon. They're all going to be available except Pandora. Like, do people still use Pandora? I'm not sure. Another boomer thing. I feel like Pandora is just completely irrelevant nowadays. So can't listen on Pandora because Pandora's got to sign me to a massive 7-figure contract before I put the podcast on there. So Pandora listeners, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to spread your wings a little bit to listen to the podcast in your car because it's not going to be on Pandora, and I can promise you that. Um, Anyways, like I said earlier, we're gonna have some fun with ChatGPT. I'm gonna go to it right now. I'm gonna go to ChatGPT every week, and I'm going to ask ChatGPT to name me the most random Vikings player they can think of. Because I tested it out and it said, um, and I so if I do name sorry, I'm getting really close to the mic. If I do name a Vikings player, they come up with pretty obvious ones. Justin Jefferson, that was the first one. I said name a Vikings player, and it was Justin Jefferson. I could have gotten that on the first guess. I would have gotten that on the first guess if honestly we were doing ChatGPT name me a Vikings player. I would have guessed Justin Jefferson. I would have got it. So I'm 1 for 1. I'm not going to count that. That'd be boring. So I do name the most random Vikings player you can think of. And in the future, I will already have this typed out so you guys don't have to watch me type and listen to me type. But this is the part of the show I want you guys to guess too. The most random Vikings player ChatGPT can think of. I'm going to go with Marcus Sherrills is just really talking to me right now. I don't know why, but I'm going to guess Marcus Sherrills. You guys put your guess in. Say it out loud right now. If you get it right, you win a prize, so DM me. It's thinking Jim McMahon. This is what it says. How about Jim McMahon? He's not exactly the first name that comes to mind when you think of the Vikings, but he played for them briefly in the early 90s. It might be McMahon. No, McMahon. McMahon is better known for his time with the Chicago Bears, where he won a Super Bowl. I wouldn't have guessed that name in 1,000,000 tries. So that is the fun of the game because when I get one, my God, are we going to celebrate? Anyway, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Make sure to tune in next week's episode on Wednesday. Appreciate you guys.